She wasn't supposed to feel anything for him. Not for a human. Not for a soldier who stood alone against an entire alien vanguard bleeding, breathing hard, yet refusing to step back. From the ridge, she watched him fight with a kind of furious bravery her people believed impossible. Every strike, every roar, every stubborn step forward seemed to shatter everything she thought she knew about Earth's fragile species. And when the dust settled, she whispered only 4 trembling words. I want him to be mine. What kind of human inspires that? The first thing she noticed wasn't the explosions. It wasn't the broken sky or the ash drifting like dark snow across the battlefield. It was him, one lone human, standing in a burning crater, as if the entire war depended on the way he planted his feet in the dust. His armor was cracked, the kind of crack that said he'd been fighting long before she arrived. His breathing was ragged, but there was a fire in him that didn't dim, not even when a towering alien war beast stepped forward and roared loud enough to shake the mountains. She had seen thousands of warriors in her lifetime. She had trained beside generals and strategists, witnessed soldiers sacrificing everything. But she had never seen someone fight like this human did, not with such raw stubbornness, not with such terrifying focus. She wasn't even supposed to be here. Her people, the Vyrain, were officially neutral observers. That meant they watched, recorded, never interfered. And as she stood on the ridge, the recording drone hovering silently beside her, she couldn't stop staring. What kind of human fights a monster 3 times his size? Alone? What kind of human doesn't run? The beast lunged. He moved too fast for someone who should have collapsed an hour ago. His blade ignited with a furious blue arc as he slid under the monster's strike. Sparks exploded, dust shot upward, and for a moment, just a moment, the world froze on that single image. A human refusing extinction. It was almost poetic. She caught herself leaning forward, breath held, claws gripping the rocky edge of the ridge. Her people had studied humans for decades. Humans were impulsive, emotional, primitive, some said. Too unpredictable to be taken seriously on the galactic stage. But this one, this battered soldier with blood running into his eyes, made all their research look like trash. He wasn't just fighting. He was refusing to die. He was refusing to let anyone else die in his place. And she found herself whispering without thinking, "Who are you?" As if he could hear her from miles away, he roared one sharp, furious burst of sound that didn't belong to prey or bystanders. It was the roar of something that refused to be forgotten. The beast slammed him backward. The ground cracked under the impact. Most warriors would have stayed down. He didn't. He pushed himself up with shaking arms, spine straightening like a man rising to face destiny. Why does that make my chest feel tight? She wondered. Why him? The Vyrain didn't believe in fate. They believed in calculations, in predictions, in cold logic. But none of that explained the heat rushing beneath her scales as she watched. None of it explained the pull subtle at first, then powerful, drawing her attention to every single movement he made. The beast charged again. He answered with a scream that cut through the smoke. His sword flashed upward, striking with the force of someone who had nothing left to lose, but everything left to protect. The beast staggered, howling. He didn't give it time to recover. Humans never did. He leapt. Every muscle in his body strained. Every ounce of strength he had left poured into that final swing. The blade carved deep, splitting through armor, bone, and the roaring hatred of a creature that had slain hundreds before him. And then, silence. The beast collapsed. He landed beside it, hands trembling, shoulders heaving. For a moment, he looked like he might fall too. But he didn't. He stayed standing, barely, defiantly, victorious. She realized her own heart was pounding like she'd fought beside him. Her drone chirped a gentle notification. Observation report completed. End recording? She didn't answer it. She couldn't. Her eyes were locked on the lone human as he wiped blood from his face and slowly turned toward the ridge toward her. Did he see her? Did he know she'd been watching? Did he know he'd just changed the way she saw his entire species? He took a step forward, just one. But it was enough to make her feel something she had never experienced in all her decades as a Virane officer. Something dangerous, something powerful, something faintly beautiful. Her throat tightened. Her people would call this emotional weakness. They would say she was letting instinct override logic. They would remind her that humans were unpredictable, impulsive, too chaotic to be trusted. But as watched him raw, injured, unbroken, she felt something she knew she could never deny. "I want him to be mine," she whispered. It slipped out before she could stop it. Soft, breathless, true. The word surprised even her. She had never claimed anyone in her life. She had never wanted to. Yet here she was, staring at a human like he was the only thing in the galaxy burning bright enough to warm her frozen world. He wasn't perfect. He wasn't invincible. He wasn't a legendary hero crafted by myths. He was better. He was human, fragile, stubborn, impossibly brave. And she suddenly understood why humanity terrified the galaxy. Not because of their weapons, not because of their technology, but because of the heart of people like him, people who refused to bow, even when the universe demanded it. What was she supposed to do now? Return home? File a report? Pretend she hadn't just witnessed something that would haunt her dreams? The human looked up again, eyes fierce but fading with exhaustion. She took an involuntary step down the slope toward him. Her drone chirped again. Warning, observer protocol violation detected, but she ignored it. Some moments in the galaxy weren't meant to be observed. Some were meant to be lived. She spread her wings, gliding down to where he stood, landing softly on the cracked earth. His eyes widened slightly, just enough to show he didn't expect an observer to approach. He opened his mouth, maybe to question, maybe to warn her to stay back. But she lifted a hand gently, speaking first. "You fight like your soul is on fire," she said quietly. "And I have never seen anything like you." He blinked, surprised. And for the first time since the war began, she smiled. Because this wasn't the end of the story. This was the beginning. The moment a lone human's courage changed a Virane's destiny forever. The moment she realized she didn't just respect him. She wanted him. She wanted him at her side. She wanted him to be hers. And nothing, no protocol, no rule, no distant empire could unmake what she felt now. Not after witnessing the human who fought alone.